Previously, Strongest Wizard is one day all of a sudden turned into a small girl named Mira. He or she reunites with his old crew but decides to hide her true identity. Mira is the strongest of all the elders in the kingdom, and one day its King Solomon sends her on a mission to find another powerful elder. He cannot be found, so Mira goes back to report to her king. Mira hands over the documents she took from Metropolis to Solomon, but as they are all encoded, he forwards them to one of his advisors in order to have them deciphered. Retelling the events that happened during her adventure to Solomon, he is concerned after hearing that a powerful demon stood in their way. Mira has acquired a special pass to enter a forbidden dungeon, the Devil's Labyrinth in the Primal Forest, which she will need to enter in order to continue her search after the wise men. It takes some time, but the documents Mira retrieved get translated. It turns out that Soul Howl is looking for a special item called the Holy Grail of Heavenly Light. Apparently, it is located somewhere in the southern part of the continent, but they are unable to pinpoint its location. In order to learn more, Solomon sends Mira to a large library dungeon which holds all of the knowledge of the world within it. But to enter the new areas of the library, Mira will need a special ore called the Firefly Glowstone. In order to acquire the ore quickly, Solomon sends Garrett and 2 more men to fetch it, who are accompanied by Mira's summons for protection and guidance. After successfully acquiring the ore, they are attacked by a legendary beast. Mira's summoned Dark Knight is getting overwhelmed by the mighty creature, and just as it is about to harm the mining group, the mysterious woman jumps in to protect them. She seems intent to fight the legendary beast and uses her immortal arts techniques to bring it down in a flash. After the monster is defeated, she sets her eyes on the Dark Knight, who got back on his feet. But after learning that the knight was there as a summon to escort them, she quickly changes her mind and runs off, declaring it is too early for her to return. Returning with the ore, they tell Mira, Solomon, and Luminaria what happened during their venture. The 3 of them quickly realize that the woman in question was most likely Marin, one of the 9 wise men who always wanted to test herself by fighting powerful legendary beasts, and is known for her unpredictable behavior. The entrance to the library dungeon is underneath the Magic Academy, and this is where Mira is now headed. At the entrance, she happens upon Hinata, a teacher from the academy. Hinata thinks that Mira wants to become a magician, and when Mira reveals that she is already a summoner, Hinata gets completely stunned. After realizing that Mira is a highly ranked adventurer, she begs of her to help them out during the upcoming Mage Arts Review. It is during the review that the Academy decides which fields of magic studies will get more funding and thereby more chances to develop their craft. After observing the display of the magic from the other fields, Mira is surprised at how basic and mediocre all of them were, wondering what happened in the years she was absent to make it deteriorate so much. In order to put on a show, Mira summons Letitia, a majestic spirit of a diva with an angelic voice, who sings her masterful performance which puts everyone present into a blissful trance. To show that she can also do offensive magic, she has Letitia destroy the target dummy by only using her voice. The representative of the sorcery department does not like the fact that the committee decided on the summoning department to be victorious, so he challenges Mira to a duel under the pretense that she is a fraud. Unfortunately for him, the duel ends before it even has a chance to properly begin, as Mira immediately summons her Dark Knights to prevent his spellcast. It turns out that all of this was observed by Cleos, who's spending his time at the academy nowadays as the acting elder of the summoning school. After the crowd is cleared and the 2 of them are alone, he insists to duel Mira as well. During their duel, he quickly realizes that Mira is actually Dunbalf. Seeing that she cannot fool him, Mira explains why she is at the academy and that she needs to maintain her current guise. Promising to keep her secret safe, Cleos decides to serve as a guide into the library dungeon. While they are preparing to venture into the dungeon, Hinata joins them and requests to be allowed to come with them as well, and so the 3 of them enter the library dungeon. On the way into the deeper levels, Mira coaches Hinata on summoning magic. Upon reaching the new expanded area of the dungeon, they use the Firefly Glowstone to open up the way. The library is massive and they need to obey certain rules to prevent the dungeon's security from activating. Eventually, they find a large stone slab that has ancient letters carved into it. None of them are able to read it, so Mira summons a special rainbow spirit from ancient times called Pam, who retains all of her memories every time she is reborn. With Pam's help, they are able to decipher the text on the stone slab, which tells them the solution to the puzzle they need to solve in order to progress further into the library. Pam does not want to be dismissed just yet, so she joins them on their dungeon adventure. Eventually, they manage to find the books with information they are looking for. Since they are not allowed to take the books far away from their original position in the library, they use magical paper to copy the pages from the books. Just as they are done copying, Pam ends up triggering the dungeon security system while she's playing around. Summoning a large bird to fly out on, Mira's party makes a hasty retreat before the monsters catch up with them. Bringing the papers back to Solomon, Mira tells him that Cleo's figured out that she is Dunbolf. He suggests that Mira should reveal her true identity to Mariana as well. Mira feels bad for keeping Mariana in the dark and returns home, trying to find the right timing to reveal the truth to her. At first, Mariana does not believe her, but once Mira shows her the fairy's grace, a covenant which Mariana entered into with Dunbolf, all of her doubts are washed away. Mariana sheds tears of joy as she is finally reunited with her master. Using the information they gathered in the library, Mira sets out towards the primal forest, following the trace of Soul Howl's quest for the Holy Grail. Flying on her summoned Pegasus, she spots a badly damaged fortress in the forest. Landing to see what is going on, she learns that powerful monsters not native to this continent have appeared in the forest, and they keep attacking them every night. Mira decides to help them out, starting out by healing a badly hurt woman. Before she can set out to hunt down the hostile monsters, capable soldiers and adventurers from the fortress join her, eager to bring the fight to the monsters that kept terrorizing them. With all of them together, they locate and attack the monsters. Mira uses her Holy Knight summons to keep her new companions safe from their attacks, while they slowly but surely bring down the strong monsters. With only the most powerful boss monster remaining, Mira decides to only play a supportive role and have the others defeat it, in order for them to get their revenge on it and restore their fighting spirit. After bidding her farewells, Mira returns on her trail after Soul Howl. Arriving at the primal forest, Mira summons her trusty cat Sith to serve as her guide. Using his abilities, she easily locates the entrance to the Devil's Labyrinth. Thanks to the special pass she acquired before, the dungeon opens up for her and the two of them enter. Inside of the dungeon, the cat's sharp senses come handy once again as he is able to find the special seeds they need to gather. Finishing their search a lot faster than Mira expected, they find a large blue flower which transports them close to the exit. Using a stream of water to exit the dungeon, the two of them land in a nearby lake. It is there that they are happened upon by a masked man while drying off. It seems he confused Mira for a spirit at first, but upon realizing that she is a human, he apologizes and leaves after giving her a weak excuse as to what he was doing here. Mira decides to investigate this further and follows after him. She is shocked to see that the masked man suddenly attacks a spirit that is relaxing nearby, but his attack is thwarted by another man who uses divination magic. Just as it seems that the diviner is about to be victorious, the masked man's poison takes effect, crippling the diviner. Before the masked man can deliver the finishing blow, Mira steps in and protects the diviner with her summon. Confronting the masked man, Mira is able to easily overwhelm him by using her arts. Thanks to Mira, the masked man is subdued rather quickly. The diviner introduces himself as Blue. He is joined by another diviner, White. Both of them belong to the Isuzu League, who are currently fighting against Chimera Clausen, to whom the masked man belongs to. Blue and White need to question the masked man, so Mira leaves him in their custody. The two of them explain that Chimera Clausen is currently abducing spirits in the southern part of the continent, and they want to figure out the reason for doing so. Mira figures she will need to look into this in the future, but for now she continues on her journey after Soul Howl. While flying towards her destination, she happens upon a caravan encampment. There she is surprised to see her adventurer friends Emira, Fricka, and Searle. They are working as security for the caravan and are more than happy to spend some time catching up with Mira. She tells them about her recent adventures and warns them about the Chimera Clausen group. Zeph suddenly cuts their reunion short, bringing news of monsters attacking the caravan. Apparently, they have stolen cargo from one of the carts and are getting away with it. Mira decides to join her friends in their pursuit. Suddenly, they find themselves trapped in a magical fog that blankets the woods, preventing them from making any progress after the fleeing monsters. Mira summons two woodland spirits, Yuneko and Etnor, having them help break through the magical fog. The two of them are able to quickly dispel the magic, leading the group to the monsters and the stolen cargo. Upon facing the monsters, Mira and Cyril make short work out of them, while her holy knights keep the others safe from the monsters' attacks. Mira happens to touch a stone tablet that is among the cargo, which transports her spirit into the distant past. There she talks with a member of the devil race who warns her that the fact that she is here means that there was a large distortion of mana. This can prove very dangerous for space-time, as mana is able to directly affect the flow of it. He hopes that this was an isolated incident, as the opposite could be very disastrous. Before they can talk more, the anomaly starts fixing itself and Mira is pulled back into the present. Before she leaves, she asks him where all the devils she can see are headed. He tells her that they are going to the reincarnation gate, where they will be reborn as angels. Suddenly, she is back in the forest, struggling to remember what she was just doing. Bidding farewell to her friends, Mira returns to her mission. While flying towards her next destination, Mira suddenly sees a town engulfed in flames. Deciding to check it out, she happens upon Garrett in the town. He explains that Solomon sent him as an emergency has come up. A massive amount of monsters has suddenly appeared within the kingdom's borders, and she is needed to help the defenses. The sky suddenly cracks open and swarms of demons pour through. With the crisis upon the kingdom once again, Solomon sends Luminaria by herself on the front, while he prepares to go out to battle in person. His advisors convince him to not do it, as the kingdom needs its ruler at all times. Mira arrives at the front as well, cleaning up any stragglers after Luminaria's rampage. All of them return to the capital to meet up with Solomon, and just as he goes out to greet them, the sky cracks open once more. A massive monster of unprecedented power comes out of it and heads straight for the city. Solomon stands in the way to prevent it from reaching the city. Observing the situation from above, Mira leaves Luminaria to prepare her most devastating spellcast, while she summons her whole army to battle the massive monster. Thanks to Mira's army, they are able to battle the raid boss monster with only the 3 of them, but the encounter is much harder than anything they had to face recently. With one wrong move, they would be cut down by the monster's powerful blows. Once Luminaria's spellcast is ready, Mira paralyzes the monster to make sure the spell hits. Even though the spell is a direct hit, the boss monster is still raring to go. The battle continues, and after a few close calls, Solomon, Mira, and Luminaria are able to defeat the boss monster thanks to Mira's wide variety of powerful summons. After the battle is over, Mira spends some time relaxing with Mariana and Cleos before Solomon sends her on the next part of her mission to find the remaining wise men. Hey, thank you for staying all the way till the end. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. It takes only a second, but it means everything to us. Have a great day and see you in the next video.